how's parenting of 2 going? Baby number 3. Any advice on how to prioritize your time with your significant other now having 2 kids? Will you let your children decide to be on social media or not? Good morning. I feel like I haven't sat here and said good morning in like years. It feels so nice to just like be sitting here and making a video. I feel like I'm so out of practice with talking to a camera because I feel like it has just been so long. So I'm like, what do I say? Today is going to be one of those Q&As where I kind of just take you throughout my day and answer a question as I go throughout my day. Gabe is with Kaya finishing getting breakfast ready and Cuba is down for a nap. So I'm just gonna quickly finish getting ready for the day. I thought while I was here, I would answer a question. Do you have any makeup favorites? Any recommendations? Once a product is finished, that would be probably when I would try something new. I'm also just a creature of habit. So once I like something, I usually stick to it. I'll quickly just go through with you some products that I use like quite regularly. Concealer is this one by Kosas, I think is the brand. I like the Contour Wand by Charlotte Tilbury. For face, I usually like a tinted moisturizer or something. I do like the Rare Beauty one. This is the Kosas Skin Improving Foundation. I've been trying this out and I really do like this too. Setting powder is like always Rare Beauty. Bronzer at the moment, I'm using this one by Charlotte Tilbury, the Airbrush Bronzer. And then brows, Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo. And then for mascara, I've been using the Lash Sensational Maybelline Mascara. This is my favorite lip balm from Brisbane, Australia. I just like always have this. I can link all of that down below if that's easier. I feel like this is going to be just a very like overdue catch up. I feel like I have barely posted on social media in the last 6 months of having a baby. This postpartum was so different from my first, and I feel like now I am almost 6 months postpartum. I am feeling the best that I have felt all 6 months. I don't know, I feel like I was blurry and foggy and so sleepy. Cuba is sleeping so good now, and it's just crazy how much sleep can affect everything, like physically and mentally. So once we were both sleeping really good, it has just been such a change. Yeah, we're doing so good now. I feel like the biggest difference with that was putting him in his own room and in his like own full-sized crib instead of being in our room right next to me. Like literally it was night and day within the first night of putting him in his room. It was crazy. He started sleeping so much better like right away. I've used taking care of babies with both my babies, but I never had to do night sleep training with Micaiah. She was just like always a really good sleeper. And so I went through the whole like class this time. But honestly, putting him in his room made the biggest difference. I wasn't sure like how I could show up on social media the last 5-6 months. I just like felt blurry and tired and still like happy. All of those feelings can like exist at the same time. Obviously also very full of joy. Being a mum is like my favorite thing ever. I do need to get into more questions. I don't want to just ramble, but I'm probably speaking to some parents right now who are not sleeping very good and are kind of in that blurry, foggy survival mode. I don't know, just thinking back to me even like 2 months ago, like I just want to give you a hug because sleep will get better, everything will get smoother. All right, the kids are down for their one synced nap of the day in the middle of the day. It's amazing. So I'm just out very quickly running a few errands. The next question is, what do you currently use for birth control? Are you still using a non-hormonal method? I am still using Natural Cycles. They are very kindly sponsoring this video. So I started using Natural Cycles before I was pregnant with Micaiah, which was in 2021. So it's been a long time. It's now 2025. If you haven't heard of Natural Cycles, it is the first and I believe only birth control app. It's cleared by the FDA, and basically how it works is it will analyze changes in your temperature. So it'll take the data of your temperature every day. So the user will take their temperature, whether it's through a thermometer or mine is on my Aura Ring, and then it syncs up to the app. The app will then analyze changes in your temperature, and then it will be able to tell you if it is a green day or a red day. So depending if you are trying to prevent pregnancy, for example, a green day would be like you're good to go, you're not fertile. A red day would be saying you are fertile. So if you're not trying to get pregnant, use another form of protection, or so on and so on. Every woman is obviously very different
different and will have different preferences, but this has been such a good option for me. I'm pretty sure I first heard about this through someone else's, like someone else was talking about it on YouTube. If Natural Cycles is used perfectly, I believe it is 98% effective. Let me just double check that. The app is 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. So perfect use would be not doing anything on a red day if you're trying to not get pregnant. So it has just been a great way for me to track my cycles. Anyway, if you're interested, I do have a code. It is Jess, and that will give you 15% off an annual subscription plus a free Bluetooth thermometer, which is great. You take your temperature in the morning and then it'll sync straight to the app. So it's great. So if you're interested, I'll leave my link down below. Thank you again, Natural Cycles. Natural Cycles has been a very helpful part of our pre-baby and then pregnancy and now postpartum journey. So yes, to answer your question, still using Natural Cycles. I don't see myself using anything else, just because it has worked great for me. Next question is, how's parenting of 2 going? I seriously just have so much joy being their mom. Kind of as I was saying earlier, I'm in a stage now where I am getting sleep and Cuba is getting sleep. His naps are so much better. I just feel like I've got my groove. It took me nearly 6 months. It fills me with so much joy, and they're at such a sweet age, and I assume it'll only get sweeter as they can play with each other more, because right now it's just Cuba laughs so much at everything Kaya does, and then she just wants to be cuddling him all the time. I can't wait to see when they can actually play together. My weekly rhythms and everything I need to get done, it's not perfect, especially during the times that I have to get work done, because that is such a small chunk of time. It is usually nap time. I've been thinking about maybe trying to make a video on my weekly rhythms, on just the normal household stuff in just what I do as a mum of 2. I feel like maybe I am 80% there. Most of it is working pretty well. I have this weekly checklist that I print off every week. I need to laminate it, so I don't need to be printing it off every week. It breaks down every day the stuff in the house that I would like to get done. I'm going to do one more question and then go home. How are you handling mum life / content creator life? Which I feel kind of goes well with the last question. My content creator life, I feel is so pretty much non-existent. That is definitely the bigger part that I'm trying to figure out with being a mum and having the 2 kids and being home. I'm still figuring that out of what to film and when to be able to film. One of my goals this year is to do more Instagram reels. One of my reels that I did was making gift basket, which to me is a small section that I could put in a vlog, or it could be an entire reel because it's so short. I feel in this season of life that feels more doable for me, to be able to make kind of little snippets on reels rather than trying to do a full weekly or daily vlog. So we'll see. This is definitely my mum season. My kids need me the most now than they'll probably ever need me, and so I'm just really soaking that in. At the same time, I love being creative and making videos and different content. The opportunity that we have with having this job, I don't want to take it for granted either, so trying to figure that out. I know of some actors who have taken a 10-year break from their very successful acting careers to be a mom, and I find that really inspiring. I really haven't figured that out, and it's a conversation Gabe and I have every day. He's definitely doing the bulk of our work in our family at the moment, whereas definitely pre-kids it was we were both able to work a bunch. All of my time and my work, I guess you could say, is going towards my kids, which God fills me with so much joy doing that and being with my kids. So definitely not complaining at all. Thank you for just being patient. If you're why doesn't Jess post videos anymore? I'm just being a mum. I don't know, we all go through different seasons of work is going to be busier, and then maybe mum life is going to be busier. There's a season for everything. I don't know if any of that made sense. I feel I just rambled. I guess the plus side of not being able to be as consistent is I was really excited to pick up the camera and film today. So I guess rather than sometimes if you like do it so much, it just becomes a thing that you like have to do. Not that it takes the joy out of it, but you just kind of get used to it. Whereas I feel like I haven't picked up a camera and like vlogged or talked in so long that I was really excited to pick it up today.
The next question is, what characteristics do the kiddos have from each of you? Which is so cute. It's really harder to tell with Cuba because he's only 5, nearly 6 months old. Him as a baby, he is very happy, loves to laugh, like mostly at Kaya. He just looks at her like she is like his whole world. It's so cute. If I had to guess, he is going to be it's so hard to say. It's just so hard to say this as like a 6-month-old that I'm like, I think he's going to be sporty. I guess I'm just speaking from my experience. It may also be because he's a boy. Like with Kaya, she was very much more like chill, I guess, like still maybe. Cuba is much more like active and moving around all the time. So I don't know if that means he's going to be athletic like Gabe, because Gabe is a very athletic, like he can pick up like any sport really quickly. I can hear them laughing right now. It's so cute. Anyway, it's kind of hard to tell, but I would say he's just happy and loves to laugh. Kaya, I think, gets her confidence from Gabe. She is so confident and like very friendly with people. Like she wants to make friends everywhere she goes. She's not afraid to say hi to people. I think that's definitely from Gabe, because everywhere Gabe goes, he makes a friend. I can just see so much of me in her, especially me as a toddler, like me at her age, like the things that she's into right now, like dancing, playing cafe, taking care of her baby dolls, taking care of Cuba. I see so much of myself in her in that regard. She loves to bake. She loves to sing. I would say for me, she has probably gotten the like very like nurturing side of her. If I'm laying down with her, she'll like put a blanket on me. She always wants to take care of Cuba and like come and wake him up from a nap. She's just very like gentle and caring. Whenever she's like being really gentle with her babies, I'm like, you're such a good mama. There was a lot of questions about babies and if I'm wanting more babies or baby number 3. I feel like we are still both on the same page of maybe like 3 or 4. So we're just taking one day at a time. I don't feel like we are finished, but if God just wants us to have 2, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm very much like full of joy in this season with just the 2 of them. We can both see our family potentially being bigger than just the 2 kids, so we will see. What has been your favorite worship song lately? Favorite worship song? I have a playlist that we like to play in the house. I really like Nobody But Jesus, which is by Maverick City Music and Songhouse. I'm gonna have to only play like a few seconds. Another song I love is I'm So Blessed by Kane. That's like a really good happy song to start the day and to like play in the house. Some more like faith questions. How's your relationship with God going? What is God teaching you these days? I think it's just been really sweet to see God throughout my day. My friend Milena posted this somewhere recently, and it's exactly accurate to like how I have been feeling recently, is recognizing God's grace throughout the day. When you are constantly doing that, you're like approaching the day with a really grateful heart, I guess. Even this long nap and just being able to film more, which is like, I don't usually have the time to do that. I'm like, thank you, God. And I'm also, now that we're sleeping through the night, I've been able to get up in the morning and read my Bible and like do a Bible study. I have the Enduring Word app, and then I also, the pastor who like made that app, who made the commentary, he does YouTube videos as well. His name is David Gruzik, so you could just YouTube his name and then like the passage that you're reading, and then he has videos that go along with the commentary. So I read along with the app, and then I'm like listening to him talk as I'm reading the commentary, if that makes sense. It's my favorite way to read the Bible, and I'm just so happy that I like am now in a stage where I'm able to be doing that again in the mornings, because it really just sets my mind right. I definitely wasn't at this stage even like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I think my heart is like so cautious if I'm like talking to mums who aren't in that stage, who are very like sleep deprived and not able to have like time in the morning. It does not last forever, and you will get back to that like kind of feeling of normalcy. Another question, how's your reading going this year? And then someone else asked what I'm reading at the moment. My reading since having Cuba has slowed down so much. There's this song by Corey Asbury. It's called These Are the Days, and just prepare, if you haven't heard that song, just you will probably cry. So tell him bedtime stories, give him a kiss goodnight. Darling, before we know it, this old house will be quiet. I know we're tired right now, someday we'll laugh about it. So let's slow down and raise a glass, because these are the days that we'll want back. You have to listen to the song. It is so beautiful. I'm always reminded of that song, how it says, before we know it, This Old House Will Be Quiet. So in terms of like how much I'm reading, I'm not reading that much right now, but I know one day this house will be quiet and I'll read lots of books, and I know I'll miss it. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent. I just finished rom-commers, which I loved. Oh my gosh, I love Catherine Center. I also finished One Day in December, which was a Christmas book, but it was totally not a Christmas book. And then, so right now I promised a few of my friends, but promised my best friend that I would read Fourth Wing. She loves it. Reading that one right now, and then if I need a break from Fourth Wing, I'm only like maybe 15% in. It's also so long compared to like little rom-coms that I read. If I need a break from that and a little rom-com, I just downloaded the sample of Made in Manhattan, which I don't even know that much about, but it was on my TBR list, so I just downloaded the sample. I love books set in New York City. That's all I'm reading at the moment. Both babies are asleep. Gabe has already done the dishes, so I made myself a cup of tea. I want to trim my nails, and I need to get in the shower, wash my hair, but I'm going to do a few more questions. There were quite a few about music and future songs and stuff. This one says, I just discovered your song, I'm in love. I listened to it almost 50 times in a row. More music. Thank you for listening to it. This was probably 2 years ago. I released a song, and I actually kind of had 5 that I was planning on releasing. I had written 5 that I really liked. And then just being pregnant and having Micaiah just totally slowed everything down. And I feel like with music, I'm very, very particular. That song, Good to Know, was the first one to go out because it was like I was fully happy with it, and I do love that song. And the other ones, just I keep wanting to work on them, and I mean, I wrote them maybe 2021, so I wrote them a while ago. I'm kind of like, is it still something that I want to put out? Gabe loves the songs, and he's always like, just put them out as they are. I do think it's important to kind of figure out the sound that you want to have in your music. It was taking me a while to like fully get happy with the other 4, but there is one that I love that I really would still like to rework, and it is, I wrote it in 2021, I think. It was the first song actually that I had ever written, and it was about Gabe going through depression. Definitely more of like a sad song, but yeah, I do love that song. So I don't know. My brother has been staying with us. He goes back to Australia soon, but he's been here on like a long holiday, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to do anything with him. He's a really, really good songwriter. In my mind, I was like, oh, we can write a song while you're here. So I would love to. It's just more of a time thing. Any advice on how to prioritize your time with your significant other now having 2 kids? Very good question. Before we had Cuba, we and I guess before I was like very pregnant, we had a pretty good rhythm of having a babysitter and going on a date once a week, and that was really nice, and we had that time, just the 2 of us. But then having a newborn obviously changes everything. Now that he's sleeping through the night, I feel like we are at a stage that we could get a babysitter again and start going on date nights. While my brother has been here, it was actually maybe last week, we went out after the kids went to sleep, and my brother watched the monitors, and it was really nice. If you're not in a place where you can go do that, like we were for months, I think it's important to just have like little moments with each other throughout the day. Emphasize to the other person that you're thinking of them and you're trying to like care for them. Something little is like if Gabe makes me a cup of tea or something, or even just for like a few minutes in bed before you guys go to sleep. Even if the baby's next to you, you could just whisper and just like have a few minutes of like whispering to each other, asking how their day was. I think it's like you really have to be intentional with little moments. Are you going to homeschool Kaya? I am so excited to homeschool. I definitely need to kind of research it more. When I left high school, even growing up actually, I thought I would become a teacher. When I was really little, I would like force my brother to play schools with me, and I would make little like maths worksheets like during his school holidays or like on the weekend. I'd be like, let's play schools. So it's funny how God can like put that desire in you, and then just how you can see it unfold. I didn't end up getting an education degree or becoming a teacher, but I now get to use that desire to homeschool my kids. So I think that's really sweet, and I'm very excited. Gabe and all his homeschool friends, really any like adult that we know that we're friends with that was homeschooled, they all had such amazing experiences. I love that Gabe had so much time to work on stuff that he loved instead of like ending a school day and going home and doing more homework.
he got to finish his school day and then like practice editing or making a video with his friends or doing a sport or something like that. Just going over the questions again reminded me of a question I answered before about my reading and how I'm like reading much slower since having Cuba. But I was in Kai's room reading her a book before bed. It's also a really cute book. It's called You Are Special. I'll leave a link to it down below. We have it in like a bigger storybook, but I bet you can get it just as like its single book. Yeah, you can. I'll link it down below. It's such a sweet story and we do read it like pretty much every night. While I was reading it, I just had this thought of like, this is where my reading time is going, and like what a blessing. Will you let your children decide to be on social media or not when they're older? I would want to put it off as long as I can, for sure. I obviously, it's something that Gabe and I would need to talk about together. And I don't even know what social media will look like when they're teenagers, but I would want to push it as much as I can. We've talked a lot about like if our kids are interested in making content, like allowing them to do that, but not posting it online, and like having it be like if they make a cool video, we could like host a movie night or something to show, you know, all their friends, or depending on what it is, obviously, but still letting them explore those interests, but in a way that's not online. I feel like I have been talking for a really long time. Thank you for hanging out with me today. My very first clip, I was like, how do I talk to a camera again? It like feels like it's been so long. Don't forget about my code with Natural Cycles. It's Jess for 15% off. I'll leave that link down below. Anyway, I'm going to go take a shower and wash my hair. That is my biggest, one of my big mum hacks, is to shower at night. I'm not rushing. I can wash my hair. I feel like it's so much more stressful for me to squeeze a shower in the morning before the kids wake up or during a nap or something. It's been so much easier for me to just shower at nighttime. So I've been doing that for a while. Hope you have a good rest of your day. If you have some good news or like an answered prayer or something really exciting going on at the moment, let us know in the comments. Love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.